Flightpath, the podcast where we explore the journeys behind bold leadership, innovation, and lasting impact. Each episode, we sit down with leaders, innovators, and rule breakers who built their success by doing the work, learning the lessons, and sometimes ignoring the map altogether. Whether you're navigating leadership, healthcare, technology, entrepreneurship, or simply trying to figure out what's next without losing your mind, you're in the right place. Before we take flight, we'd like to thank our sponsor, eFax, helping businesses and professionals stay connected with secure, convenient document sharing. Fax online with eFax. Now fasten your seatbelts, adjust your altitude, and get ready for stories, insights, and conversations that just might change your course. Welcome aboard. This is Flightpath.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Flightpath, brought to you by eFax throughout 2026. So we're super excited to have them as our podcast sponsor. Today and through the rest of the summer, we are doing the podcast train, where we are interviewing somebody and then handing it off for them to interview the next person on the train. So today we have Harold from Medtel. Welcome.
Thank you.
Can you
for having me.
explain Medtel, what you do, your position, all that good stuff?
Yes. So I'm the CEO of Medtel. I also was the founder. Medtel, our mission is pretty simple. We want to improve the lives of not only the providers, but also the patients that they serve throughout their surgical experiences.
And you have two offerings.
We have two different products.
Yep.
The first is SurgiScript. SurgiScript is a care coordination solution. It's really geared to being more proactive and making sure that we close the loop, whether it's clinically, financially, or operationally, so that when the patient shows up, there's really no surprises. And then the second product has a lot to do with surgical profitability as well as clinical appropriateness based on site of service. So depending on how organizations are reimbursed, we want to make sure that those patients end up on the most clinically appropriate setting, but also in some instances, sometimes the most profitable.
So you're saving hospitals lots of money.
We are helping them make a lot of money, but most importantly, do right by the patient.
And do you go in at risk? How is the initial sign up procured?
Yeah, and Rebecca, that's a great question. So we have some flexibility in terms of how we price. Typically, we've found that most organizations will sign up for just a monthly subscription fee. But we have been willing and are always willing to go at risk. We've been able to generate rapid ROI for organizations in less than 10 weeks. They see,
That's awesome.
meaningful contribution margins. So if risk is the way that they want to go, we're certainly willing to do that.
Yeah, I think of all of the rural healthcare. I mean, I was a critical access CIO, so they need any help they can get.
Yeah, and that's why we want to make sure that we're able to meet that organization where they need to.
Awesome. And so you're an entrepreneur.
I am an entrepreneur.
First company, second company. Usually you're serial. So how many has it been?
Cereal has such a negative connotation.
It does. Not for this though.
Well, it's interesting. My background originally was in physical therapy. I worked predominantly in pediatric and adult neurology and neurosurgery for about the first decade of my career. And then pivoted right after 9/11 and ran a medical distribution company. And we went from skin to skin in neuro. So that was really my first bite at the entrepreneurial apple. And it's kind of stuck with me. And then unfortunately, over that decade, I saw the inefficiencies that just continued to plague the surgical care process despite large sums of spend on EHRs and some of the other solutions. So we went in and created an opportunity to make sure that when patients showed up, there were really going to be no surprises. And that's whether it's clinical surprise, financial, or operational.
Yeah, I love bridging the gap between IT and operations. I find myself daily in both buckets.
Yeah, that's such an interesting, and we use the term bridge all the time.
Yeah.
So what we found, I'm a bit of a workflow geek, was that the surgical office is really the opportunity to capture information at the earliest, right? As we start to think about facilitating the episode of care. So as you consume that clinical, financial, or operational information, you're able to disseminate it to the different stakeholders throughout the organization and sometimes outside the organization, right? Whether it's vendors, prior author teams that are maybe even consulting for other organizations. We want to make sure that folks are leveraging good data early on in the process.
Good data. That's usually the problem. Are you finding that there's good data, or are you having to go in and help clean it up?
We We typically take yellow sticky notes,
Okay.
you name it, yellow pieces of paper off of
Yeah.
surgical schedulers' desks. Yeah. And yeah, it's really important that we clean that data up. And then by cleaning that data up, create a really solid foundation
Yeah.
to build a surgical episode.
So are you working mostly with the OR and surgery, or you also collaborate with IT in that data governance?
So we try to collaborate with IT whenever possible. It typically will start in the operating room for us, where they've identified a problem, whether it's, hey, we have capacity constraints in the inpatient setting and we need to figure out a better way to migrate and bring less complex cases to their ASCs. So we start a lot of times in the OR, we clean that data up and then work in lockstep with the IT team to make sure that
Yeah.
everyone is now speaking the same language as they move forward.
Yeah, because as you're undercovering what you're seeing in the OR, which then reveals workflow problems and then opens up a whole can of worms and data problems, and so you're helping with all of that.
Exactly. Sometimes it's item master list items, right?
Yeah.
So semantics are a big part of that.
Yeah.
If I call something a cage and you call it an inner body, um, and we're not speaking the same language, that creates downstream impact, right, from an
Yeah.
operational perspective. So maybe the vendor doesn't know what to bring, or maybe the person in the scrub tech doesn't know what to bring to the operating room for that particular case. So it's important to get it right early.
Yeah, I just learned yesterday, actually checking in, that even for hotels, they have adjoining rooms and they have connecting rooms. I thought that was always the same thing. They actually treat them different. I've been staying in hotels for like my whole life, and like, oh, that's why they're not. Anyway, it's the
What's
same
the
thing as the
Yeah,
cage.
exactly.
Like as you're referring to other things, right? Like, oh, I didn't know they were separate. All right, you ready to have some fun?
Absolutely.
Are you sure? I can wing it, these questions. All right, we're
Fire
gonna
away.
switch to some summer questions.
Okay.
So, what is your summer personality? Beach, mountain, lake, or city?
Beach.
Beach, me too. Okay. What song would be the soundtrack of your leadership journey?
Oh, pretty much anything with chaos in the title. Heartbreak Hotel.
Okay, okay. What's one thing people would be surprised to learn about you? Even your daughters. Dig deep.
I had lunch with the Dalai Lama.
Oh, that's cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah. In a big group of people or like one on
It
one?
was about 10 or 12 of us.
Okay.
It
How
was
was
really
that?
cool. Oh, it was fascinating. Um,
Was he speaking the whole time or didn't?
he didn't speak the whole time. So it was when I was a physical therapist. We were trying to mix Western and Eastern philosophies together. And he had come into the place that we were working. I worked at this Institute for Neurology and Neurosurgery. The best part about this story is that in typical hospital fashion, they wanted to create a marketing campaign around it. So they had a bunch of children in a playroom, and they had the lights and the cameras and news. And what was really interesting is when you have children with pediatric, cancer, they're not very happy, right? But when he was in that room, the calming influence that he had, it was profound on not only the children, but the adults in the room. It was like nothing I've ever experienced in my life. They would walk up and touch his face, sit on his lap. It was one of the most powerful moments in my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
great.
Okay. What was your very first job you ever had?
I worked on a farm.
Like
And it-
like cows, chickens? What
So it was
that?
called the Circus with a Purpose. It was in Somers, New York, and it was for an organization that was trying to teach inner city kids how to share and care for and with one another through the use of their circus acts. And I was taking care of the animals. A couple of guys that I work with actually got me to ride a cow, which was dangerous, and I don't know why my parents let me do that, but anyhow, it was pretty awesome experience.
My mom grew up on a cow farm in
Oh, really?
Connecticut. Yeah, like
Oh,
milking.
in Cornwall?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
dairy farm.
Yeah,
Dairy farm. Yeah. We used to like go down and like get fresh milk. Like it was just like that's where it's from. It was crazy.
that's awesome.
Her and her, well, there's 8 of them, so she had 5 brothers, and so it was like the whole family was, yeah. All right. What's one lesson leadership has taught you about yourself?
God gave you 2 ears and a mouth for one reason, and you should listen. And it really takes a village to be successful, um, whether it's with your own team or helping to facilitate other teams and organizations. And I just think listening is, it's taught me so much, especially when you come out of college and you're like a 22-year-old narcissist. You know how most men are at 22. Yeah, it's true though.
So you've been humbled.
A little bit.
That's
Listen.
I like it. I like it. All right. Flipping here. Sorry for my.
No.
All right.
Why?
Do you have one book or podcast that you enjoy listening to that you're hooked on?
All right. So the degenerate side of me says Spittin' Chicklets. Do you know that
No.
podcast? It's a hockey podcast.
Okay.
So that's the degenerate side of me. Um, so that's Spitting Chicklets podcast is a good one. And then I do listen to a lot of other podcasts. Pivot is one with Scott Galloway and Kara Swisher. There's a whole host of others that I listen to.
Okay. How about TV series? Are you hooked on any TV series right now?
Right now, I watch Friends and Neighbors every Friday with my wife.
Oh, I love that. And are you having pizza, ice cream, glass of wine?
I would say,
All the three.
right, definitely the wine, and then substitute, beverage, but definitely wine and some food, and yes, there's usually, I would say chocolate covered raisins.
Oh. I like the chocolate covered espresso beans, but if I eat
Oh
too
my
many,
goodness,
I'm
I'm
like,
up all night,
yeah.
and I'm annoying to watch the show with,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Okay, what do you do besides watch show with your wife outside of work to recharge?
I do gardening now for the summer, and then play hockey,
Ice hockey.
ice hockey.
Are you on like a men's league?
Yes, and I'm the worst skater ever. I just started skating when I was 45, so I've been skating just a decade.
So you're like new at hockey.
Yeah, very
I
new
love it.
and
I love it.
really bad.
Okay, what's one non-negotiable in your daily routine that you like just have to do every day? Like I have to make the bed or I'm like twitching.
Oh, I have to make the bed or I'm in a lot of trouble.
Oh, okay.
And beyond brushing your teeth,
Yeah.
I would say my ritual, not that I have to do, but I bring the dog every day to work.
You do. Oh, bring the dog. What kind of dog?
She's a rescue lab hound mix kind of thing. So I bring her every day to work. That's
I
my
love it. I love that.
The chief-
There's a lot of people that bring their dog to work.
chief bark officer.
The chief bark. I love it. All right, some rapid fire. So, coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise.
Your favorite summer snack?
Vanilla ice cream cone with colored sprinkles.
Colored sprinkles. See, I always go to the chocolate ones. I love that. Okay, my kids always get gummy bears on top. I don't know. They're
I'm the straight soft serve vanilla.
I love it.
Very boring.
We all travel a lot for work. So, are you a window seat or an aisle?
I'm an aisle seat.
Yeah, I think everybody has said aisle so far. Let's see. Your favorite vacation that you've ever taken?
The last one with my family. We were just in Italy and Copenhagen together. That was off the charts.
How long were you there?
We were there for a week.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you were just saying how your kids are getting older and yeah.
I have 2 that are pretty much out of the house, but we were visiting. My daughter was doing her junior year spring semester in Copenhagen. So we went to visit her, which was awesome.
I love it. Okay. So you're here for Bluebird Leaders, which is bringing creating a community to have more women in IT and healthcare IT. How do you feel about supporting that? Why support Bluebird Leaders? I know you have daughters, but
Yes. Well, if you look at our own organization, we have just, I don't know if I'm allowed to say badass, but
you're allowed to say that. Badass. We can say that.
we work with some real badass women, and throughout my entire career, I've been blessed to work for some real powerhouse women. I find they taught me how to listen a whole lot better. but it's an easy cause to promote. I've been pretty much involved with the YWCA now in terms of women in leadership and things like that. So it's a near and dear cause to my heart. So
Awesome.
yeah,
We love your support. So thank you for joining Flight Path.
thank you.
Now you have to record with somebody else and keep the train going through the summer.
I'm in. Sign me
Right.
up.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.